Your brain has two fundamental functions that determine how clearly you think about everything, but most people only use one of them properly. Every single thought you have, every decision you make, and every conclusion you reach depends on these two basic mental processes. Understanding how they work and learning to use them effectively will change how you approach every problem in your life. The first function is analysis. This is your brain's ability to take complex information and break it down into smaller, understandable pieces. When you're trying to figure out why a relationship isn't working, analysis helps you identify the specific behaviors, communication patterns, and unmet needs that are creating conflict. Analysis asks questions like, what are the components of this situation? What factors are contributing to this problem? What evidence supports this conclusion? It's like taking apart a watch to understand how all the gears work together. Most people actually use analysis regularly, even if they don't realize it. When you're comparing prices before making a purchase, you're analyzing. When you're trying to understand why you felt upset after a conversation, you're analyzing your emotional responses. But analysis alone only takes you halfway. The second crucial function is synthesis. This is your brain's ability to take separate pieces of information and combine them into new understanding, solutions, or insights. Synthesis is what happens when you take everything you've learned about yourself and suddenly realize why you keep attracting the same type of relationship problems. It's when separate pieces of information click together to form a new understanding that's bigger than the sum of its parts. Here's where most people struggle. They're much better at taking things apart than putting them together in new ways. They can analyze problems endlessly, but struggle to synthesize solutions. They can see all the individual issues in their life, but can't see the overarching patterns that connect them. This is why some people can talk about their problems for hours, but never seem to move forward. They're stuck in analysis mode without engaging synthesis. They keep examining the same pieces without combining them into actionable insights. Critical thinking happens when analysis and synthesis work together effectively. You break down complex situations to understand what's really happening. Then you combine that understanding with your knowledge and experience to generate new approaches. For example, let's say you're always stressed at work. Analysis helps you identify that it's not actually the workload, it's the way your boss communicates that triggers your anxiety. Synthesis helps you realize this reminds you of how your parent communicated, and now you can address both the current situation and the underlying trigger. Without both functions working together, you get stuck. Pure analysis without synthesis leads to endless rumination without solutions. You can identify problems all day, but never generate ways to solve them. Synthesis without proper analysis leads to conclusions that sound good, but aren't based on accurate understanding of the situation. The people who consistently make good decisions have learned to use both functions deliberately. They analyze situations thoroughly enough to understand what's really happening, then synthesize that information with their values and goals to choose effective responses. You can strengthen both abilities with practice. For analysis, get better at asking specific questions about situations instead of just having general reactions. Instead of "this sucks," ask "what specifically is creating this problem?" Instead of "I'm always unlucky," ask what patterns in my choices might be contributing to these outcomes. For synthesis, practice connecting information from different areas of your life. Look for themes across your relationships, your work struggles, and your personal challenges. Ask yourself, how do these separate observations fit together? What's the bigger pattern? What would happen if I combine this insight with that strategy? The most powerful insights come when you can analyze your patterns accurately and then synthesize that understanding into new ways of approaching your life. This is how you stop repeating old mistakes and start creating the outcomes you actually want. If you're ready to develop both sides of clear thinking, subscribe for more content on practical psychology. Share this with someone who's ready to move beyond just understanding their problems to actually solving them. Your brain is the most sophisticated thinking machine ever created. Learning to use both its core functions effectively is one of the most valuable skills you can develop.